Morning children, today we are here to discuss Unit 8 floating bodies of 9th class. Within this class, we are going to discuss about activity 3. What does this activity 3 gives information? It gives information about why do objects float in water. In water, what happened there? Some objects will float, some objects will sink into the water. Why? Which is playing a role there? Density of an object is playing a role when we are comparing with water, that is relative density is playing a vital role. For objects, if you take it up any type of object, they are eraser in textbook he has given a list of objects such as eraser, rubber ball, plastic cube, plastic pen, iron nail, geometry box, glass marble, wood, as well as a stone. He has given in our textbook that these are all our objects. When we come to these all objects are made up of what? Tiny molecules. Depending upon the nature of material, they are made up of tiny particles. If I take two examples here, one is a rock I have taken, other one is a bubble wrap. What is called as a bubble wrap? Within the packing of a fridge, a refrigerator, or a TV, anything else, will get one bubble-like plastic, bubble-like sheet will be appear there itself. That is nothing but what? A bubble wrap. If you compare these two materials in rock, if I see the molecules are closely packed, due to that reason, it appears as what? High denser than that of high denser, and molecules within the particular one are spread out. Means what? Molecules when it comes to in rock are closely packed to each other, very much tightly packed. But whereas in bubble wrap, what happened there? Molecules will be get spread up. Molecules will be get spread up. Therefore, the position of molecules affect what? Density of object. The density of an object depends upon what? Position of molecules which are existing within that particular object. The position of object molecule, how it will be there? If it is tightly packed, means what? Example is what? Rock I have taken. If it is tightly packed, what does it indicate? It is more dense. That means what? Its density is high. Due to that reason, it sinks into the water. If I go for object, if it is spread out, less density will be there. Due to that reason, that object will be float on water. Float on water. That is the major thing there itself. Therefore, density of a substance is playing a vital role in either the object to be get sink in a water or object to be get float in a water. Object have to be get float on a water there itself. Therefore, the density of object can be get changed by using these different processes. First one is what? Heating the particular object, cooling it. Not only that one, by adding something into it. A best example for by adding something into it is nothing but what? First of all, what I am doing here, I have taken 2 jars. Within the 2 jars, in one jar I have taken a pure water and I have taken egg, and I have allowed the egg to be drop in the egg into the particular water. What you will observe? You will observe that the egg sink into the water. What does it indicate? The density of egg is greater than that of the density of water, pure water. Pure water density is about 1 gram per cubic centimeter. When it comes to density of egg is greater than the top density density of water. Due to that reason, it is sinking into that particular water. And add some quantity of water with some. Next one is what? Take one more beaker or a tub or anything like that, and same quantity of water to take it up, quantity of water to take it up, pure water, add some quantity of salt to that particular one. Salt is having its own density as well as water is having its own density. Therefore, there will be variation in density of water with salt itself. Due to that reason, if I allow egg to be if I am dropping egg into this particular water, this egg will be floating on the surface. It will be floating on the water. Why? Means it has become less dense compared to the top. What? Water with salt. Water with salt. Whereas here it is high dense. Whereas here it is less dense. Therefore, what? By adding something to it to the particular concerned water, we can what we can do the density of object can be get changed. That is one more thing. And two ways, there are existing two ways to change the density. First one is what? Increasing the density of water. Means what? This is the example I can give it up. As I added salt, it is having its own density 1 gram per cubic centimeter it is. But for salt is also having its density. Adding salt density means what? Increasing its density or not? Therefore, by increasing the density of water, what we can do? We can allow the object to be get float on the surface of water. That is the first point what we have to keep in our mind. Next one is what? Volume of the object increases, object becomes less dense than itself. Means what? We have to increase the volume of an object. Means what? Mass per unit volume is nothing but what? Density. As volume increases, the object becomes less dense. Best example is what? Ice. If I take 1 gram of ice, 1 gram of water to take it up, it is having its own weight. Place the particular take the particular water and place it in what? Refrigerator. Pouring in certain beaker, just keep it in refrigerator, it will convert into the ice. If you come to when it is converting into the ice, its volume gradually increases. The volume of water is one way. It is when it is existing in water state, it has its own volume. But when it is changing into the shape of ice, of attaining any structure of any substance there, its volume gradually increases. That's the reason. If you go for any drinking there itself purpose, if you keep any liquid, within that keep liquid, if I am adding ice cubes, what happened to that ice cube? Will it sink into that particular liquid there? No. It will be floating on the surface of that liquid. If I take water also, within that water, that is the reason icebergs in oceans, they are floating on the surface of water. As the volume of ice is gradually increasing than the top volume of liquid water, due to that reason ice floats on surface of the water. Volume increases. Volume of object, if it is increasing, object becomes less denser than that of the actual than that of the water. That is the thing we have to keep in our mind. Based upon that, if I am taking a lump of iron ball, I have taken it up. If I am throwing that iron ball into the water, what happens? It will sink into the water. The same lump of the iron, take it up by heating it. I said that it's a process, heating or cooling or by adding something. Cooling means what? Ice, I have given example. Heating means what? A lump of iron, I am taking it up. When it comes to adding something means what? Salt, I have added there itself. Heat it nicely and make it in the form of a certain use a metal sheet-like structure. You keep it up. Convert it in the form of a sheet-like structure with a certain specified shape of an object. Shape also will play a vital role. Its volume. If I am expanding the total substance, the lump of iron into different shape and keeping it on the surface of water, it becomes less dense than that of the water. Same iron sheet, iron lump of iron, it will be get sink into the water. Same iron, if I am converting it into shape of a ship like this, if I am converting it into the shape of a ship, what happens there itself? What happens? happens to that one? It will be floating on the surface of the water. Floats on the surface of the water. Why? Halo thing, it is existing in what shape there? A halo shape, it is existing. Shape of a object also will be playing a lot. Shape of an object means increasing the space, spread out, increasing the space. What happened? It spread out the water away. Depending upon that particular shape, that object cannot sink. It will float on the surface of water. Why means all halo things often float on surface of water as it has air occupied a lot. And we know that air is less denser that of water. Due to this reason, object will never sink into the water, but it will be floating on the surface of the water. Based upon these particular concept, if you go for all these objects, there will be, we can understand clearly how an object floats on the surface of water. Density depending upon density. Density can be changeable or not? Yes. By heating, by cooling, by adding something. Therefore, if you follow this particular process, easily we can understand. Increasing the density of substance we have to eat. First one is. Second one is what? Volume of an object has to be get increased. If volume increases, not only that one, in one specified shape of, if I am increasing volume in one specified shape, then what happened there? What the possibility of an object to be get float on surface of water. By this we have completed our activity 3. Based upon this phenomena, try to analyze make a chart of this particular which object will float, which object will sink. You can do it up. Okay children, coming to eraser, it is made up of, when it comes to eraser, the molecules, the arrangement of molecules and arrangement of molecules will make object to be sink in water or to be get to float on surface, sink into the water or float on surface of water depending upon its density. Density of eraser, check it out first of all. If density of eraser is greater than the top density of water, it sink into the water. If I go for rubber ball, if I am taking a rubber ball and just throwing into the particular water, if the rubber ball is sinking into the particular water, will it sink into the particular water? No. Halo space will be existing inside. As halo space is existing inside, what will be there? Air will be there. If it is having air is having less density of water, it floats on surface of water. Plastic pen, it is also having a halo space within that one. Halo space will be there, it also float on surface of the nail. If I am taking it up, it will sink into the water. But the same nail, if I am using it to form in the form of metallic with the shape of a ship, if I am heating it up and converting in the shape of ship, what happens? It can float on the surface of water. Why means its volume gradually increases. Geometry box, its volume will be more than that of nail. It floats on the surface of water. Glass marble, dip into the water. Wood, depending upon the density of that particular wood with water. Water, if we are comparing it up, based upon the comparison, we can say that either object is more dense, it will sink into the water. If object is less dense, it will float on the surface of water. So children, try to analyze the concept much more clearly, try to gain knowledge, try to understand the concept and do activities. Think out more, little bit more examples, come out with more examples so that you can gain much more knowledge on this topic. Thank you for watching and listening.